everybody, welcome on in. Thanks for hanging out and being patient when we got everything set up. Thanks for hanging out with us late at SMITE. My name's Malum. Tonight I got a great crew with me. I've got Musey below me where he loves to be, already breaking the rules I just set. Hydra right next to me and Glacier in the corner. And we're talking about a bunch of stuff today. We're ending the show today with talking about SMITE Prime, but we are starting the show talking about drafting in draft leagues, setting up draft boards, things to look for, and all the draft league stuff. So let's start by going around the horn. We'll start with Hydra, then Musey, and with Glacier. The simple hellos. How are we doing? How are we feeling, guys?
Doing good, doing good. Just finished streaming over at SMITE game. If you guys want to go check out anything draft league related, because we're going to be talking about a lot of that kind of stuff today. It usually gets streamed over at SMITE game, so go feel free to check us out over there.
My name's Musey. I'm new here. I'm scared. And I'm under Malum, so it could be worse.
I was going to say, you should be scared. We're talking draft boards, and you've got two of the drafting, like, stronger drafters I've seen throughout the scene. Oh, you should be. Your knowledge might be put to the test, young lad.
Well, some people are here to teach and some people are here to learn,
Yeah.
That's like, let's
and
get
depending
realistic.
on who you ask, some people are here to get embarrassed, and that might be Musey. Okay, Steve, your turn.
Hey, what's up? I'm Steve. A lot of people call me Glacier. I'm completely cool with either. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to leak this, but like, I'm not super prepped on this. I did not do any thinking beforehand.
Yeah,
so
behind the curtain, Tess kind of got a little bit busy right beforehand. So our Glacier is our hero today, stepping in very last second for us to keep going. So
Tess might actually have more draft experience than I do. I'm not gonna lie. I've played in draft leagues a couple times. I've helped like co-captain once, and I helped draft once, and that's about it.
I was going to say your draft boards are pretty nasty, but kind of just starting in that, honestly, on this one, I'm going to kind of let the theory you drive and where to go, because I've cast a million drafts. I've seen obviously a million at this point. I've never been a player in a draft or drafted my own team. I've only been able to judge drafts. So in this particular instance, I get to just kind of take a backseat and let you guys go. So, let's start by aiming at Hydra and kind of go from there with the conversation and kind of start things out. Well, for everybody here listening, if you aren't familiar with what we're talking about, draft leagues like Olympus Smite League just got started up. You sign up and you get drafted. It's kind of that simple, but there's multiple divisions to it and orgs. And if there's not orgs from around the scene, there might just be simple captains with a draft. They have to plan the draft, decide who to draft. They make draft boards and study game film, look at match reports of scouting games and so on and so forth. But Hydra, start wherever you feel good about. What's that kind of like to be somebody making the decisions of a draft? And let's go from there.
Yeah, I've been playing in draft leagues for a while now. I played in OSL, I think, I think it was their second season, so OSL season 2. They're currently entering season 9. So I guess I'm old now. But I think that was like my first time ever really playing, and my camera got foggy. Oh man. But I was a captain for OSL, I think season 3 and 4, with varying amounts of success. Because one draft, I learned a very hard lesson. In terms
The
of valuing
ultimate
certain
terrorist
people.
draft.
Esoteric, my goat. Anyway, but yeah, no. I've played in a couple other leagues. Ragnarok Smite League, Pantheon Smite League, Babylon Smite League, all of which have been draft leagues, and I've typically been a captain. Yeah, literally, like just every league that's popped up since then. And I've been a captain typically, and I don't think I've ever made it anywhere shorter than like quarterfinals in any league I've ever been a captain in. Besides OSL. OSL, we don't talk about that one, I guess. Like that was
but you can
bad.
kind of blame the OSL stuff on the curse of Warriors of Albion, right? Surely.
Yeah, we're breaking the curse. We're breaking the curse this season.
I'm still waiting on that art, man. I'm still waiting on that art.
Me too. We're currently undergoing a rebrand. So I'm currently the current owner of Warriors of Albion. But we're giving it like a nice little visual touch up. So just like my camera's giving me a nice little blurry visual touch up. So yeah,
It's
we're
like
just
a
gonna
filter.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, we just wanted to get it like a new coat of paint for Smite 2. It's been around the block for a while. We're still gonna keep this name, still gonna keep like the green. Like I think that green's really, core to the org and still keeping a ton of the same values, just kind of, moving forward with a new 2.0 kind of feel. But back to the original question, how does it kind of feel to, have the reins on a draft. When I was first starting out as a draft league captain, it was pretty stressful. I'm gonna be honest. I had only played competitive with people that I knew, like my friends and stuff, people that I played ranked with, so we'd 5-stack casual and stuff like that. So drafting a team of people I didn't know was like super scary, I think. In OSL, I think that was like my first time being a captain and drafting. There were like players that like I knew were good, but I was like, well, like they want to play with their friends, and are they going to be mad if I draft them? So like I didn't end up drafting like the best player available, I think, at the spot. And so like I kind of learned from that experience a lot. And nowadays, I don't care. Like I think if I think you're good, you're coming to my team. Like we're gonna be friends by the end of it. Yup. So yeah, but it's like at this point, like I'm not super nervous about drafting anymore. I think there's a lot more strategy that I do, and there's a lot less feelings involved about like trying to like make sure everyone's like super like wanting to be there and super happy, because like at the end of the day we're all just here to play Smite and have some fun anyway. So I don't think too deep about that anymore. But in the very beginning, I was pretty nervous about it. That's for sure. So.
I think that's understandable. It's definitely I feel like it's probably pretty scary to be a new player doing it right now. I mean, I just looked at OSL while you were talking, and like the amount of players I don't recognize doing scouting games is actually insane.
Yeah.
And some of them are frying too. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
Like I know some of them are like old heads coming back after being a while, but some of them are just brand new. And a lot of those guys are genuinely doing very, very well from the few scouting games that I've been keeping an eye on. Mm-hmm. One thing that I kind of wanted to touch on while we're talking about preparing drafts and stuff, I wanted to kind of get like a roundtable opinion. Better player or better teammate? Who are we picking? I feel as if, like, for me, I'm asking a question to set myself up. I'm asking a question to set myself up. But that's been something that we had to deal with a couple times, like a couple different times that I've had to like pick either bring your own teammates or even with the draft. I'm curious as to your guys' thoughts on that. Like for the two of you that have played in the drafts before, if you have to choose, if you have a good slot open, you have a good pick open, but they're an asshole, right? Or you have a slightly worse player, but he covers another role. Perhaps he's just going to be a good team player. He's always there. The best ability is availability. Like, what side are we leaning on?
I think for me personally, I tend to gel better with personalities because I feel like, and this might just be because I'm super green in captainship and that kind of thing. Like I've only done it once. And
the time that I did draft,
the streets know. But the draft that I did have, I spent like 2 days staring at a draft board with Glacier in gray, and then I went, okay, I have to go do the Smite Prime game show. You guys just
good luck.
We'll follow the board as best you can. They're like, we did it, and it worked. But I found out for myself that when it comes to ability versus personality, I'm somebody that really values personality because I need somebody that I can work with. I need somebody that can kind of have that vibe. I think if you are going to, and this could maybe be like a branching topic, but if you are going to have your asshole good player on the team, you also need to make sure that you have somebody that has personality to counteract that. Right?
Yeah.
Or you can just be good enough at the game that you can kind of be like, listen, man, you're good at the game and I'm good at the game. You're a little bit of a dick, but it's fine because we're just going to figure it out anyways. That's the part that I'm working on.
Getting good at the game.
I'm getting better at the game to match my cool personality. If you have both of those things, holy moly, you can't be stopped. But I think what Hydra said earlier of initially you're drafting, you want to make sure that you have people that you can get along with. Oh, I don't know, they're the best, but they want to play with me. I think that is something that is a very new player opinion of like, I want to draft personality. But as you get better at the game and you get more mature in your position like Hydra, you're just like, dude, if you're I don't care what your personality is. If you're good at the game, you're on the winning team, my team.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I've definitely been in both camps, right? Of like drafting for skill level and drafting for personality. I also think it depends on like, depending on the draft style, like what round that pick is getting picked in.
Yes.
That's super valid.
So like, if they're your first round pick, I can absolutely understand someone being like, hey, like I don't even really care if they're like a jerk. they're just the best option.
That's round
you
one.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's round one. You know, like I need this pick slot to matter for my team to be really good, and then you can probably like try and draft some personalities around that personality to make it work a little bit better. I've done that before. I've also just like it. Like I'm gonna compare like apples and oranges. Like so, it's like the first round. There's two really good options, and one's like maybe slightly better at the game than the other, but the one that's better at the game is like a headache to deal with, you know, just like away from the game, they're just kind of like annoying, can, you know, bring down the team vibes. And, you know, they're like, oh, like, I don't really like, if we're losing scrims, I don't want to be there, man, you know, like they can like just make the team less fun to be at, right?
Yeah.
But if you did pick them, they'd probably be like mechanically, you know, the better player, macro wise, probably better. But I'm gonna be honest, like I think at this point I'm too old, man. Like I just don't want to, you know, boot up and play Smite game and
fixed
like hear
Hydra's
someone
camera.
nagging. Oh my god, let's go!
I don't know how I was able to do it, but I fixed
I
it.
see you.
Whoa.
I see you.
We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, but like I've definitely been in both worlds so far. I think right now, I think with the leagues that I play in and stuff, I'm a lot more focused on drafting for skill. But I also think it's because like I think me as a person, I'm also like super easy to work with. So like I can like I've had a lot of experience with like different, you know, kinds of players and stuff. So I can address people. You know, like if there's like a team like disagreement, I can handle it pretty well. I have a degree in psychology, so I can just gaslight them into believing they're wrong.
Oh,
so,
very
like,
nice. There it is.
Yeah,
That's the Woa mentality, baby.
exactly.
No,
baby.
you're here first.
The Woa.
Gatekeep
So,
gaslight girl boss, the
Yeah.
woman.
yes.
That's heat.
Oh man. Yeah, but I can agree with both methods, honestly. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it, honestly.
I
I've had
actually
a
kind of
pretty
disagree with that.
I have a pretty interesting
sorry, go
perspective. No, mine's short, I promise, because my perspective is literally only from top down casting wise, and the amount of teams that I have seen blow up from personalities is interesting because there has been almost an equal amount of teams that I've seen that had personality clashes that ended up winning or going incredibly far in tournaments, which is to me has always been and usually I will give the caveat they're in higher divisions as opposed to lower divisions. I have seen some lower, even lowest division vibe teams make it really far, surprisingly so, because they're playing a little more confident, comfortable, and they're just kind of more relaxed, so maybe they have better comms inherently. But at that higher level in particular, I've seen some pretty, I've seen some raunchy teams make it pretty far. I always think of Smite Draft League. There was a team that was like, I want to say it was like Spooks, Ace Concept, Rat Milk, Tegbeer, and somebody else that made it all the way to finals, and like they looked unbeatable. And I always wanted to know what those comms were like.
I would pay money to hear that. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I think they definitely won the first season of SDL in the Godlike division. I want to say they made it to the finals in the second season as well. So that should give a pretty good idea. And they were both years they were pretty much comprised of most of the same players. But Glacier, you want to make a point, please.
Yeah, sorry.
No, don't be.
So I actually kind of disagree that there's not a wrong way to do it, because I think there is a wrong way to do it, but it depends on the captain. It's not a wrong way to do it overall. It's a wrong way to do it for the captain. Because if the captain, like, I'm going to use me as an example. I'm not trying to rag on you. If the captain isn't the best player on the team, the captain has to draft a best player for the team, right?
Yeah.
Or like Hydra and me, like we play the bad role. Or maybe not the bad role, but we play the role that doesn't have as much agency as other roles sometimes.
Command center.
We have to talk and you have to listen. So we got to figure out people who are going to listen, people who are going to work with us, people who are going to have good feedback. And it's different for every single captain, right? You have some captains, you have like Prod, right? Sun Prod. Everyone, he's like 12, not literally, but like, why is he the captain? Because he's the GOAT, you know, because he's very, 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 very good at the game. And everyone's going to work with that, respect it. And he drafts leadership around him. He has great draft strats, right? And then you have other people who are, you know, not as good, we'll say. And they're drafting more people who are like the top, period. And I think it's very interesting as well, kind of how Malum said, the personality clashes in the higher division don't seem to matter as much as they do in the lower divisions, or vice versa, excuse me, sorry. The personality clashes in the higher divisions, it's like, okay, cool. Winning is still fun. Even if I hate your guts, I want to win.
Yeah.
right? And so between minion spawn and Titan die, we have an agreement that
I'm
we're
gonna
just
find that
moving
roster
on
while
and
you're
playing the
talking
game.
because I'm dying to remember.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it's valid,
but
it's valid.
like, I just wanted to bring up my personal experience. I had a boom team. I was
I was
kindly
thinking about
drafted
this.
I
Yes.
was kindly, wonderfully drafted because there were no like clear-cut best support picks up. So Sogno drafted 2 question mark supports. Me, who hadn't played in like 4 years or whatever, and Kama, who had never played above Delphi. And he was like, one of you guys probably works out. And then in the scrims, I worked better with the backliners. Cam worked better with the frontliners. Our frontliners were more vocal. We went with Cam for most of the games. A couple games that I did play ended up not going super well. Like, I think my Sparta record is like 1-6 or something like that at this point. Like, it's atrocious. It's not great. It is what it is. But one of the things that I found out, like on our team, is there's a difference between strong personalities and not being willing to compromise. And I think the thing that I've changed a little bit in looking for, like when I looked for draft, like when I was helping Musi with his draft, or when I'm looking at draft, like moving forward now, is it's not necessarily that I don't want a strong personality. It's that I want someone who can work with others even if they know that they're right. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Where it's like it's not necessarily so much about the personality for me.
Okay.
I used to be a bring your own team guy only.
Keep talking,
That's
but
awesome.
just put a pin in it. I found the rosters for a bit because oh my god, they're crazier than I thought.
So Hydra, you were also bring your own team guy for a while, right?
Yeah, I would still consider myself very much. I prefer that style of play over draft for sure.
For me,
I love it.
I was so aggressive and I was so like my teams have to, like, I was a field general, right? Like I was just an asshole. It is what it is for years. And so like for me to play, I had to be with people who were going to understand that and wanted to do that. In a draft league, it's a lot more collaboration and it's a lot more mellow and I think it's awesome. I didn't used to think that, but now growing, learning, I think that's awesome. I really, I don't know. I love the contradiction between I'm the best and I'm the best teammate. And I think that's something that I always look at when I'm drafting.
Yeah.
Sorry for going off on that tangent.
No, that's a
good tangent. That's heat.
So it was the team's Wrath of Terra versus Eclipse. Wrath of Terra was comprised of Zotes and Zots. I don't remember I don't remember which one of them had name change because obviously there was a real Zotes. And the other one had name change because it was Zotes with a Z and Zots with an X. Happen, Emoji Daddy, and Swagga. That was Wrath of Terra.
Swagga. Wow.
And then on Eclipse, this is the Heat roster. Eclipse was Astro in the solo lane, Rat Milk in the jungle, Spooks in the mid lane, Just Medre in support, and Ace Concept in ADC.
Yeah, that's a team.
Peak.
That's an opinionated team of all time.
Yeah, that is a team of. I don't even know if yappers is like the right way to describe that team.
Their personalities.
It's a team of personalities.
That's cool.
It's funny because I know in season 2 of the Smite Draft League, Rat Milk got first overall drafted to a team that was comprised of all Spanish speakers because they knew he was just him. They made it to finals, by the way. And like that's where the Como Ordenanios Ratas gif comes from, is from that team, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
And I asked him like what are comms like, and he's like, I use VGS, dude. And, like
that's awesome.
But I imagine his comms from season 1 of that league to season 2 were probably close to the same.
Yep.
But I feel like
awesome.
One of the most interesting things that I said this in the beginning, but just to make it super clear, I am not a competitive player for Smite. Never have been. That's not my interest. My interest has just always been commentary. I've been playing Animosity with Musi, Hindu, Tess, Moon Mellows, Dilo, and Mort. Hell of a roster.
It's a roster. Yeah.
We're horrific.
It's a journey.
It's bad when like constantly top performers are like me and Hindu. Like, things are bad. Musi Jungle was cooking. We're making some roster changes. We're on the up.
I'm never off rolling again.
Yeah, we're on the up. But
I learned my lesson.
The reason I bring it up is one thing that I now appreciate more about draft leagues is kind of like what you guys said, is this idea of getting to know new people, but it does eliminate a factor that I have already learned is a thing of like, if you have friends who you maybe like you play competitive and you want to see how far you can get, you're relying on your own skill to get yourself onto a good team or get yourself noticed in a draft. I feel like it's kind of cool that you can truly separate yourself from peers in that instance. I think that's an interesting part of it. And I do feel like, especially in lower divisions, I think there have been a lot of times I've seen drafts that were of players that were a little more unknown where they performed really, really well. Now all of a sudden household name is a ridiculous description, but like within the league itself, I think you guys know what I mean. Like
Their names,
they go from a name you look past to like, oh yeah, that guy was tearing it up in Crete last season.
Yep.
There's been a lot of those. I'm excited for that for this season because for those not in the know, OSL having added a 5th division, so we've got the Thebes Demons now, and we've got, Hell Crete at the very bottom, which a topic worth getting into. Super Crete is insane, but Musi was talking to me about how it looks like because of Waterfall and the amount of signups, things might be more complicated than people assumed, but we'll put a pin in that one. I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of new names to show up and show that maybe they weren't the greatest in rank. Maybe they signed up as a clay player, but maybe they're a comp demon who just needed a team they could talk to or whatever. I'm excited for that potential.
Yeah, for sure.
But Musi, you had this you had a tinfoil hat conspiracy you were going on about yesterday. I really liked that the current state of OSL in particular. The draft looks like it might be a little surprising because of the amount of players and how waterfalling might work out.
Well, I was
putting you on the spot
with the introduction of the 5th division with Thebes and just the amount of signups that happened, and I kind of had I touched on it when God said it and I were talking because he put the idea in my brain. He's like, I think it's going to be like this, and I was like, nah. And then I thought of it, I was like, oh my god, wait, right? Because we have all these players that are going to be trying to get into Athens because that's where the money is, right? That's where you want to play the video game if you're good at the video game. And then we have those guys that are falling into Sparta. But even with the way that vetting has worked so far, there are some like, really good Sparta players, but then there are some Sparta players that are now in Delphi because some Delphi players are now in Thebes. And I was like, oh, why is Wilkie in Delphi? Whoa, what's going on here? Why is Glacier in Delphi? What happened here? And I was like, oh my god, these Sparta waterfalls into Delphi are gonna cook that div. More so, these Delphi waterfalls into Thebes are gonna cook that div. Oh, Crete is doomed. I was like, maybe I want to fall to Crete. Falling to Crete sounds pretty hype this season. I just want to, the streets were saying Musi's a Crete side laner, and maybe this season I just want to embrace it. I just want to go down because it looks really cooked on the top. Like it is spicy. Yeah. It's going to be great content. I can't wait to cast these games. If BRE gets into Delphi, dude, please pull me up. I gotta be with Doc. God, let's get real.
Shout out my girls.
I do shout out to the big VR cheese.
Slobber up.
So my Pantheon team was talking about OSL drafts and everything. Mid is always like the role, right? Mid is always the sign up role, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's estimated that there's going to be like 10 to 15-ish mids dropping into Delphi. Give me an estimate of how many mids you think are going to drop from Delphi to Thebes.
Ooh,
50. I wish Pluto signed up this season, by the way.
From our math, we're looking at above 25 mids dropping down to Thebes from Delphi.
It's fucked.
like as respectfully as possible. If you are a Crete mid laner, Franks is looking awful good right now.
It's a good day to be a solo laner. There's always a hope. Let's go.
No disrespect to mids, no shade to any of you. I'm sure there are so many good players that play that role, but it's so saturated.
It's crazy. That's insane.
And they all play the same gods. Like they don't even like play differently either. They're like,
no one thinks.
I'm gonna boot up Discordia today, and I'm like they're not standing out,
Free
man.
thinkers
Like,
playing mid lane and they lock in Agni.
This is a really good segue, like pivot point into because you just said it, Hydra. I'm gonna play this today. You're not standing out. What are some things and I'm glad we have a decent range, funny enough, in this call of kind of divisions you guys have drafted for, helped draft for, whatever have you, and played in, obviously. What are the things, because I know there's like this, there's a little bit of a stigma around like actual match reports of scouting games versus watching the scouting games versus just players that you already know from beforehand and whatnot versus trackers and just all the different ways you can pull information on players. What are some things that you guys look for, have looked for in players that, maybe not for like Athens and Sparta per se, but for players that are trying to stand out, trying to stick out in drafts, or just trying to make a name for themselves in scouting games to up their draft stock? What are you looking for? With, I guess, an interesting note for me I've heard from you guys in voice calls and whatnot, comms are kind of a sneaky thing that people like don't think about, but it's a huge obvious thing that in scouting games you're listening for and trying to ask about. Hey, how is this person's comms?
I will say, sorry, I'll give me that mic. One of because I've been playing in some scouters in Thebes. I have another scouter later today. And one of the things that I listened to, like you said, not only am I paying attention to like, oh, are they 22 and 4 dreaming? That was an insane lobby. What do they sound like when they're owning, right? What role are they playing? Like, is my jungler or is my support dictating the pace of the game? Are they trying to control things? Are they trying to, corral the team? Are we asking questions? Are we talking about the map? Are we talking about what we want to do? Blah, 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 blah. Are you an IGL? Where are you talking during team fights? Is it silent? Like those kinds of small things. But also, how are you talking to your teammates and stuff like that? Thinking about that personality aspect again. It's like the comms of like, obviously the bigger picture, but also how are we communicating with other people who are strangers? Like that is for a lot of us, like I don't know any of these people and they don't know who I am. So like, how are we talking to each other? I think is really important. I literally will put spies in scouters for other divisions and I'll be like, just tell me, I want you to listen to this person and just tell me how they did, how they talked, like how did that go, right? And I think every org person ever can admit to that. We're listening. There are rats in the sewer, my friend. We are listening to you before we draft you.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure. Yeah,
no, you go. I've only got one take on this, so you go.
I got you. I think it depends because, like, from a player perspective, I think like it's different for me. Like, I typically play in like the highest divisions. And
I was just gonna say, I was gonna give you the shout of Hydra does tend to play at the highest divisions. I know you had like a Sparta moment, but I mean, even then, like you performed pretty well in Sparta. So Athens demon at heart.
Yeah, it's like my first season, I think I played Sparta, and then immediately after I went straight to Athens.
I believe so.
So yeah, and I've been there rotting ever since. Yeah, but
Not to were you bench forming for Hindu originally? Like,
yes, like no one knew who I was. So I got drafted to bench, and we made like the finals. But like I never played.
I was gonna say I recall Hindu as also being like, I think this guy's better than me. Chat like,
yeah, because like I pulled out like the emoji in a scrim because like he couldn't make it or something like one day, and they're like, oh, like we still want to scrim. They're like, what character can you play? Like, can you play Geb? And I was like, I play Emoja, and they're like, what? And then like yeah, and then they're like, hey, like thanks for filling in, man. We'll see you later. And like that,
get back on that bench boy. Give me the water.
Yeah. We have the Iris Hindu man, so if you don't mind, just step into the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that team. Though. I love that team. That team was so fun to be on though. And like I played a ton of scouters that season. I was super excited. I guess I'll talk about that experience too. I played a ton of scouters in Sparta. Because I was just coming back to like comp. I played a little bit like early comp, like super early days with Smite, but like nothing super crazy. I'd love to go like do like Destiny raid races and stuff like that, and go play Call of Duty competitively for a long time. So then I came back to Smite after like I think I came back in season 7. I think is when I came back. And no one knew who I was. I like took the chaotic off my name, so like none of the console guys knew that it was actually me. And so I come back and everyone's like this guy's like okay, like he's cool, it's whatever. Don't know who he is though. And so I fall to bench rounds. I'm bench round for Hindu, and then I get called up to Athens the next season. But I typically don't play in scouters anymore. Because like that top level, like you use scouters for like really different things, I think, right? Like, you know, at the Athens and Sparta level, sometimes Sparta, you're using it for like, you know, maybe there's like one specific player you want to see like how they're going to match up, or maybe you want to see if someone's worth, you know, being a sub for your team, and you ask them if they're like okay playing as a sub for your team. Maybe you want to compare mid laners and see if they're different. Like, I mean, just you start using them for like really different purposes. But like from an Oregoner perspective, guys, I am evil when it comes to scouting games. As Musi said, we'd be putting spies in the Discord calls. We gotta be writing down who's calming. You know, whenever the Gold Fury gets stolen and they start blaming their jungler because they didn't zone correctly, and then the whole mood gets ruined. We know that we were there. You just don't know we were there. Like, oh man. But I mean, I think, at least from an Oregon perspective, I think we look to try to put players in. At least I do, me personally. I won't speak for every other org, but I know that we try to put in players that people have been talking about being pretty good, and just like, and then like I'll throw them against someone that we know is good, and just be like, oh, like, how do you measure up,
100%.
right?
Yep.
So it'll be like I'm going to use James as an example. Phenomenal player from last season, went to Sparta finals, ended up losing in finals, but had a great performance, right? So like if I was like doing a Sparta scouter, I would throw Joe Schmo, you know, 6'7", against James and be like, yo, like have at him, like let's see if you can, let's see if you measure up to him at all. You know what I mean? You know, D5, phenomenal jungler from last season, ended up winning Sparta last season. I would throw you know, Kai 82 against that guy and be like, oh, like, is there a gap? How big of a gap is there? Can you keep up? Like, you know, how are the comms? You know, how do these two supports look? You know, I use scouters to like really like measure up players against each other a lot of the time. So
Psychology degree coming in clutch.
yeah.
And now, Steve, I know you've got to go in a couple minutes for a cast here. So if there's anything else you want to talk about aside from that topic, please feel free to yap away until you got a dip.
Yeah, so the one thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to like what we're looking for in scouting games, I'm going to say two things. Number one is the obvious: base skill and aggression. Pressing all of your buttons before the enemy presses all of their buttons and running at them makes you a better player. I don't care if you lose. Being willing to play the game, not being a passenger, that's the number one thing I look for. But I would say very close behind not being a passenger player, very close behind not just being there for the ride, very close behind making sure you are part of controlling how the game feels, is how does a player lose? I think that's the most important thing for me overall. Now, I want a better player than a worse player. I don't want to take a creep player in my second round in Sparta. I'm not saying that. Yeah. But if we have two equal players and one loses with grace and the other starts playing the blame game, shifts the mood, kind of how it was mentioned earlier. If one, like, I'm again, personal experience, personal example, when I played with Buffs, phenomenal player, better mechanically than I'll ever be, and he's on the sticks. Like, great player, very aggressive, very good. Same with Empen. Probably better mechanically than I'll ever be anywhere close to.
Boom.
But when we lost a game, the two of them started looking to see who the problem was other than himself. Instead of going, I can fix this, I can fix this, I can fix this, it was all, you guys, this is the issue and it's not me. And one thing that I look for more than anything else, if you want to be the GOAT of scouters, if you want to be the GOAT of the draft leagues, is taking personal responsibility, figuring out what you can do differently, and growing yourself, because you are the only thing you can control. And I'm going to share my favorite quote real quick, and then I'll shut up. Winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Keep an eye on who has other people's name in their mouth, because they don't have time to focus on winning.
Ooh.
Chills. Brr.
Jinx.
You know what I mean? So I don't know who told me that, but someone like years and years and years ago when I first started playing competitive, winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. And that changed my entire outlook. So, like, I don't know, like, there are different levels of players. There are winners, there are competitors, there are people who are just having fun. There are people here for content. And all of those are valid reasons to play. All those are reasons that you want to have people on your team. But I think the biggest thing that I'll lead towards at the end of the day, when you're drafting a team, when you're looking for that, is you want guys who can communicate and agree on the expectations for that team. If you have 2 guys who don't care and they're only there for content, and you have 3 guys who are winners at all costs, that's not going to go super well. You have to have the balance, and that was discussed by other people as well. But the balance is super, super huge in my opinion. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to say about the drafting stuff. Is I really, really think one of the major things in that draft is how does a person lose? That tells you more about anything than how they're going to win.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
me personally, when I lose, I start throwing cheese at the wall.
Yeah, he's horrible to team with for that reason.
Tear my desk up over the wall. I start shouting really loud.
Yeah.
I'm calling people names, not like bad words, but like the wrong name. Like
I have an OSL
I'm gonna give it to Anthony.
specific.
He's like, "Damn you, Shelly," and he's like, "That's not my name." Who is Shelly?
Who's Shelly?
My where is it? I can't ruin this bit by not knowing where this is. Oh no, I can't find the joke I was gonna
Anthony.
make. Oh, I'm so cooked, bro. I'm hurt.
Well done.
Where? Oh, I found it. My number one tip for OSL and getting drafted: watch out for 2.1B.
Yep.
Oh, dude, 2.1B is a bastard. It'll get
2.1B will sneak up and get you.
That's how they get you.
We've lost more up and comers to 2.1B than anything else. Like I'll say it. Like,
so true.
Like unfortunate. Like
for those of you not in the know, 2.1B is the rule that says don't be a piece of crap. Don't treat people poorly.
Don't be weird on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't be weird on the internet. And not only that, don't be weird in the game, in your other servers with your friends that will report you because they're snakes. Don't be a weirdo on Twitter. Don't be a weirdo on your public Facebook that's linked to your Discord profile because you're 87. Like, whatever the situation is, just like be a normal person. It's not that hard. Treat people with respect.
And the same train of thought, it's gotta be the most fans in OSL related to 2.1B.
We had one yesterday.
Literally yesterday.
Pour one out for Joe Henny. Like,
Joe Henny.
I believe in Joe Henny.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Like,
if no one got you, I got you.
Yeah. Motherfucker's gone.
Like,
dead in the streets.
Nah. Joe Henny's funny. He stays beefing with Drunk Diplomat and Ranked all the time. Like they'll just go at each other for no reason. Like they'll load up across from each other, play 2 completely different sides of the map. Like, and then like we'll win, Joe Henny will lose, and it'll be like this old man abusing the queue system. Why are you not in the retirement home? And like it like
I mean, some valid questions for the record.
It's like a blood vendetta, man. Like they will not let it go. It's awesome.
Pour one out.
She's over here like, get off my lawn.
Pouring out my Henny for Joe Henny.
Yeah. All right. I do have to bounce at this point to get ready for the cast. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, of course. Enjoy your cast. We'll talk soon. Appreciate you joining us last second, my friend.
All right. Much love.
Now he's got to hide the old Glacier name. He's got to figure out, I got it first try. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, big shout out to Glacier for joining us last second and kind of saving the day since Tess got a little bit busy last second.
A lot of food drama in Smite today.
No, literally.
Okay. I think I heard you about to say something to Musi, though, Hydra. So what's that? We got tea?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, that's fair. I thought there was some good.
There's always tea.
There's always tea.
Yeah, so drafts are soon. I think there's a draft order coming soon as well.
Yeah. Musi, got any hidden tech for your draft? Anything you're looking for?
Ooh, see, here's the thing, Mr. owner of Warriors of Albion. If I tell you my hidden tech for draft, you're going to sneak away my hidden tech for draft. My hidden tech for draft is that low key. I want to follow the creek because it'll be funny.
I was going to say, with the most respect possible, Musi is one of my closest friends in the whole world. He was a groomsman in my wedding. Hydra does not need to steal draft tech from you.
Okay, right. I'm sitting here on a gold mine.
Hey, I'll tell you, we got stuff over at the works over, welcome to WOA camp over there. We got some stuff. I'm pretty sure tomorrow we're going to be hosting 5 scouters, like one for every day.
Happy Friday.
That's heat. Let me play.
Yeah. Like, and they're all like 2 hours apart from each other. They're all going to be spectated, all going to be casted, streamed on other people's Twitches and stuff like that, recorded, people listening in the comms, roster shuffled. Like it's gonna be
shout out Tess. Tess did the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Tess streamed Scouter showing both comms overlap. That was sick. Very easy to do.
It's dope.
I'll reveal the tech for those who do make it to this point, or if anybody wants to share the tech, because it's very easy.
Yep.
You stream your audio to your OBS and you sign on to Discord with 2 different accounts, one on your browser, one in your main Discord. I would suggest sharing with the league what you're doing so that they let that Discord in, and they know that that secondary Discord is you. But they're not going to say no if you explain the purpose of it, and you can stream both comms, and it's really cool for scouters. Obviously, you'll never see it for games, but it's a very unique thing to do, and I think it's so sick. Cool. I know, Hydra, I know you're a big proponent in sharing comms too. You don't even mute your picks and bans in your comp games you stream, correct?
Never, honestly. If they want to know why I want to pick or ban something, honestly, straight up, they would have asked me after the game anyway, and I would have told them, So like, and like usually people that are playing against me, they're not going to be like sitting in my stream. So like, I have trust and faith in the people I compete against. I don't really stress about it too much.
I like Musy's eyebrow raise of like, oh, Anthony knows some ball. I didn't. I like that.
Let's say I didn't know you did that too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Musy needs his picks and bans for his assault team. I just thought I'd share that.
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, we mute for the P's and B's for assault just in case they want to copy our draft.
Can you? Wait, how does that? Can you like?
You're thinking too hard.
That's why I brought it up.
It's good. It's good. We're going to playoffs, by the way.
Hey, that's tough. That's tough, man. Hey, Assault League's a good league. Did you guys? Was it bring your own team or was it also a draft? Was it draft?
It was also a draft, but I turned my draft into a bring your own team because I had my friends sign up to play, and they never played comp before in their life, and nobody knew who they were. So my draft was round 1 Wilgie, and then I got Leighton, Solstice, Artoria Leaf, and then I got Steve as Fried as my sub. And when I tell you that this Dark Horse team we're going to at least semis, we have to. Like, it's actually so huge.
If you guys make it to finals, I will try to cast that. That I can give you.
Oh my god, please. That would be so good.
I gotta see Steve as Fried with like the Malum comms over, like, oh my god.
This guy is just like a Midwestern dude who rides a 650 Honda motorcycle, and he fries in casual games, and like that's it. He goes Geek Bar, and then everyone's dead. I don't understand.
Shout out to Geek Bar, man. Shout out to Geek Bar.
The whimsy is insane for Ape Escape 4. Like
Aura. Yeah, no, I mean, wait. Musy, are you a captain this season for the sewer?
So we're figuring that out, right? So I was Delphi captain last season. And
for context, for those who are, this is your first time tuning into this, Hydra mentioned that he is the org owner for Warriors of Albion. Musy is a advisor for the sewer. I'm also in the sewer, but just to be clear, because I don't think it's been said anywhere. I kind of assume it's obvious because I have no affiliation with like any comp, anything aside from casting for stuff. I just made the sewer Discord. That's kind of all I did. And I make the assets for a lot of places. So if you ever see me with a role in a league, not even 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, if I have a role in a league in the amateur Smite scene, it's because I did something with production or assets. It's never like an affiliation directly with the league. Just wanted to point that out there because it was prevalent. But please, Musy, continue.
Yeah, I'm affiliated. I wear the colors. So I was Delphi captain last season, which was met with some, are you sure about that? Like, are you sure? And we got to Ascension, and then we O2'd an Ascension. We were just having a rough day.
Which I'd love to get Hydra's take on too. After your story, by the way, just in general. I have a captain's question.
We weren't a best of 1 team. We're a best of 3 team. So we just got to get cooked there. And shout out Sewer Delphi, shout out Elston, Pluto, Louis, J Dragonflight, Dab Llama, everybody who was a part of that team, because I was making trades like in crazy because you know we had some issues after the draft that we had to get settled. Sorry to Delphi Division for EV winning again. I did not mean to put Azure and Zapsy on the same team, but it's not my fault that Kazara traded them over to Eternal Vanguard. That's not on me. Okay. Anyways.
Shout out the draft rule changes and the trading changes and
Literally.
season.
I think Sewer had the most trades in the thing because I was like, this is awesome. This is fun. Trading is fun for being a captain.
I got the 2 guilty parties in the call, baby.
Oh,
that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
But
God sends ops, bro.
But you know, our Sparta team did really good. Our Crete team was not doing great. Our Delphi team had a lot of eyebrow raising. Musi, are you going to captain again? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm ready to, you know, not be the best player on a team and be the captain for it again. So if that was
my question, maybe. By the way. My question to you, Hydra, really quick, because it's not a quick question, but it's good because I'm curious, because I know this was the exact thing Musi caught flack for. And again, my perspective is there isn't very many people who just watch amateur competitive or just have a casting perspective, but they're starting to be more now that like Hi-Rez, for example, has been putting on draft leagues on Smite Game a little more consistently. Smite Game streamers are now more in kind of, you know, 1-to-1 to competitive players, so we're seeing more random games get streamed. Hydra, I know Dilo and Musi have both taken advantage of that. So my question to you, Hydra, is, my exception to this off the rip, by the way, is Athens and Sparta. But below those 2 top divisions, do you think that the captain has to be one of, if not the best player on the team?
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't. I think as long as now, okay, caveat. I think you need to be a player that belongs in the div you're captaining for sure, right? Like you can't be like a Crete player and be a Delphi captain, right? So Crete being the bottom division. My bad. That's not what I meant. No. Anyway, but basically, like,
this episode's awesome.
It's just a Musi match,
I was actually one of the people that defended the Musi captain decision because I actually didn't think it was that bad, but
I think the proof was in the pudding there also, because the team
Pluto and almost won. Like
the draft was fine on paper.
It was so good.
But go on.
Yeah. So I think as long as the captain is a player that is serviceable in the division, and I think the more important part about running a team is they can bring the team together so the team functions. I think that's going to be the more important part. So like if you're talking like your Delphi, Thebes, and Crete, you know, this upcoming season of OSL, those are going to be the 3 lower divisions. I don't think you need to be like, you know, without a doubt, best mid laner in the division. Like you don't got to be that, right? You can just be a good mid laner, and you can draft someone that you play off of very, very well. Draft people around you, and your team's going to find success. I don't think you need to be like absolute god, king, Thanos, snap, kill everybody. You know, to be, you know, captain caliber. I think what a lot of captains, and this applies to Sparta and Athens as well, by the way. Is a lot of the captains lack those interpersonal skills to, you know, collaborate with other individuals outside of people. Like, you know, for Athens this season, they had to end up selecting the top 16-ish people, top 12, top 16-ish people, to be captains. And it was hard because you had to select people that were good, but you also had to select people that could run a team. And those two things do not go hand in hand very well. You can be a phenomenal player, a great player, and not be able to run a team worth jack. And we've seen that happen in Athens and Sparta last 2 or 3 seasons. So, I mean, I think the proof's in the pudding. You don't have to be a phenomenal player. You can be a great player and have a horrible team and be a horrible captain. We've seen that happen time and time again. Even in the top divisions, we've seen that happen. But in the bottom divisions, I think a lot of people get not turned away, but they're disinterested, I think, in being a captain because they don't view themselves as the absolute best in their role. And I think it's always good to hear that you don't have to be that as long as you come into it, putting your best foot forward, and you actually, you know, try to run the team and make sure the experience is good for everybody. You put in the work, because at the end of the day, hard work as a team is going to matter a lot more than how well you click your buttons individually. So.
Jay Turner, I know I haven't really addressed the chat. Hi, chat. I know Mort's been in there. Rye, Jay Turner said, you can be a good team, but can't win the div. And I think Hydra kind of said something similar. You know, Hydra said you can make it really far, but I definitely agree. Like if you're okay and you draft a team on vibes, but you guys end up meshing, I think there's a world quarterfinals are there. I think there's a world maybe even semis, but I do agree. It's very hard to win. I do think the new format for OSL does support that a little bit more than in the past. So I think there's
sure.
a world you could maybe make it a little bit further, just because the bracket is a little more supportive of it, I guess is a good way of putting it. But I do agree. I think it's hard to make a full-on championship run as a Vibes team.
Yeah, I will say, from an org perspective, I do think you should be picking really strong players in your captain slot, just because it's like the way that I think about it is like that's like your captain choice is actually when the draft begins, right? Like that's like a dedicated player.
Round one.
Yeah, like that's effectively
Round
your first
zero.
round pick, honestly. Yeah, that's round zero, and like that matters a lot, right? So like if you are in a pool of like let's say there's 16 teams in every division, which there is besides Athens. So there's 16 players, and let's say 8 of them are junglers, and you have the worst jungle captain. Your team is not gonna be great out the bat. Like it's you're gonna struggle for sure. So like player skill does come into play, for sure. You do need to consider that. But you also don't need to be like, the absolute, like, using Sunprod as an example, right? You can be a jungler in Athens and be a captain and not be Sunprod, as long as you're good, so.
Well,
Your final thoughts, Musi, before we move into Smite Prime to wrap up our day?
Oh, yeah. Also, man, this group is fun. I feel like we could talk for hours. Good Lord.
I know. We'll run this back on a less of a time crunch, but because the drafts are fairly soon for OSL, that's why I wanted to try to get this out.
Well, I will say specifically for like the sewer and the question of is Musi gonna captain again. I've been talking to Tess and Dilo. I'm like, I'm really open to doing it again, but I want to see who waterfalls down into Thebes, and I want to see how like our Delphi draft goes. Like, I don't want to make that decision. I think it's important not to lock yourself and be like, this guy's our Thebes captain, and you're like, right, well, hold on. Delphi draft hasn't happened. Sparta draft hasn't happened yet. Like, you don't even know what your lower divs look like until Sparta draft happens, because you can kind of get an idea of how the Delphi draft is going to go after the Sparta draft, because you're going to sit there and be like, right. So for some, and this is not going to happen, but if for some ungodly reason D5s falls into Delphi, you need to understand that everything that you planned is ruined, and you got to go back to the drawing board. Everything is cooked, right? So I was like, listen, if it's available, I'll do it. But I'm already seeing people that want to captain in Thebes, that are already in Thebes, that I think would be a better captain than I am. And I would be comfortable either getting drafted to a different team, or if they decided to draft me into their team, that's fine. But I think you really just have to like put your ear to the ground and just be like, listen, we're not going to know until we know. Like, it's nice to think like, it's going to be you. Not how it works. And I think that's kind of what might have cooked to the Delphi season last season, because we went into that being like, oh, Musi's going to be the Delphi captain. And we were like, so Sparta fall downs. Saffron got picked up by Wailing Banshees, and they looked like one of the gnarliest teams I'd seen in my life. Shout out Saffron. That's awesome. A monster. Oh my God.
I have a very quick sidebar about Saffron. It's because it's niche. Way back, towards not even tail end of Smite 1, like we're talking season, like end of season 7, I think, early season 8. There was like an amateur, I think this was it was either hosted by Salt or hosted by AGL, but there was like a staff v staff tournament for all the leagues. SDL was one of the newer leagues and did not have enough players, so I decided to play, and I hadn't again, I've always been very transparent about this. I am a caster through and through. No interest in competitive. I might fry in a casual arena here and there. I am not a competitive player. That's just not me. That's not what I'm trying to do. Won't pretend it. SDL got put against AGL. I had the ADC against Saffron, having never played comp with a whole team that hadn't played comp. Bro, I was getting dove at my Phoenix. Saffron had me chasing my own tail in the Phoenix, saying, look, I know I'm behind, but does Saffron have to kill me in the throne room? Can we at least stop that, gang?
It has to happen.
But my Giannis jungle was not interested in helping me out, so I was in hell either way.
Yeah, that's real. Now, I've played, not with Saf, actually. We play typically in different spaces, but I've known Saf since AGL Collegiate. We actually did play against each other in Collegiate, though, because I was on a Division 3 team.
Smite Prime jump scare on the screen for those watching.
Yeah, I think it was the season where my school ended up winning Collegiate. We played against his school, and ever since then we've been pretty cool. But man, Saf's always been a left clicking demon. Always great in ADC. Yeah, he's always been good.
Good God pull too. I think that's always been my favorite thing about Saf. Saf is not that Saf can't play the meta. Saf can obviously play meta picks, but Saf always has a pick that can kind of come out of pocket that meshes with a team comp that other ADCs can't seem to match. And I've always thought that was super cool about Saf and those kind of like not middle divisions, but those upper middle divisions that we don't see because usually God pools are a little bit complex there. But hey, let's continue to talk complex. Ready? We pause, take a beat. Hi, Smite Prime viewers. You're on a break right now.
Wow.
You're on the wait screen. Hope the games are good. Am I casting? Is Musi casting? Who's casting? Is it good? It's fantastic, right? Well, I'm Mel. I've got Hydra and Musi with me. I know audio listeners are like, whoa, that was shocking. But we're going to talk about week 2 of the June circuit for Smite Prime. We've been talking about draft leagues, talking about other amateur leagues in the Smite 2 scene here at the Late at Smite podcast. So if you ever have an interest in that, feel free to tune in on my channel. But let's talk about Smite Prime week 2 because boys, week 2 was complex. We had a lot of FFs, which was the big thing, and that kind of shook the entire landscape. And our finals ended up we're skipping right to the finals. Our finals ended up being Butt Lovers versus Hostile Takeover. And if you've been watching Smite Prime, there's a good chance neither of those names actually jump out to you. We'll start with Hostile Takeover because at least that roster has performed in Smite Prime consistently. So I know that's a little more familiar. That's Tegveer, Happen, Benny Q, Ratmilk, and Karmic. Also, shout out to the subs because I know a lot of people at home don't know the subs for these rosters. But Speak No Evil and 6J are the subs for Hostile Takeover. Decided Butt Lovers made it to finals. Talk about Dark Horse, a team that I feel like a lot of people didn't know the players, didn't know the team existed, and they made it to finals. And while game 1, they did admittedly get run through, game 2, they looked fantastic as a team in those grand finals. That's a team that also had some drama behind it, which I think, Hydra, I'm really pumped you're here because you might have some more knowledge that you can't even share on this mini roster apocalypse we had in Smite Prime. But the Butt Lovers team consists of Inferno,
put the light on you here.
Victor, Wemben, Rama, Two Trill, Eats, Butt Lover, Justin Hu, and Raspy are those subs. Now, the Butt Lovers roster is complex. Butt Lovers kind of returned to competitive Smite. I know he played a long time ago because he has a lot of roots in SDL, funny enough. So I cast a lot of him a few years ago. It's cool to see his name kind of back in rotation. But Hostile Takeover, look, we know, I feel like that team in some form has been at the top of Smite Prime for a while. They won week 2 as we head into week 3. So we won't spend too much time on that roster. Butt Lovers, Hydra, where did they come from? What happened there?
I mean, okay, so like anyone that played Comp in Smite 1 might know Butt Lover, the namesake of the team. He used to be named a guy named Hun Hao, which is a Warframe reference. Shout out to Warframe. So there's that. They've been like this like pre-made team. They've been scrimming and practicing together for like months. You have Victor Wemben Rama, which is Kenzie's a recent support addition to the team. They are a role swap from jungle to support. You have Eats being their jungler. Two Trill, who I believe didn't even get to play this week.
Eats is a return player too, I think, from Smite 1,
yes,
right?
Yes, Eats is returning as well. Yeah. Two Trill didn't end up playing this week because he has to play at an internet cafe with Wi-Fi, and it was closed when Prime started.
No.
Yeah. So they had to get so they had to get Raspy, JDK Raspy or Paris, however you want to call him. Raspy ends up filling in for that team that week, and they've been looking at picking up Raspy for a little bit anyway, just due to because Trill's going to be going overseas for a while, so they need a new mid laner anyway soon. Inferno is the ADC for that roster right now, and Inferno and Raspy are pretty good buds. Inferno formerly named Pitbull in Smite 1. So a lot of history on these teams, on this team specifically. 3 players played together a ton. 2 of these players, the backline played together a ton as well. But this team almost didn't even play, which I thought was awesome. So the night before, they had some really bad scrims, and so they were like, guys, we're booting it down. Team's done. Butt Lover left the team. The guy that's the team's named after left the team, and so they got in the cold. They're like, nah, man, come on. One more go. Like we can do this, man. We had a scrim with 2 subs. I know it was bad, but we got it. We got to lock in. And then they were like, yeah, you know what? We do got it. And they made a crazy run. Honestly, it was awesome. We talked about finals. Game 1, admittedly, bit rough. That was rough. But rough. Game 2, they were in the driver's seat. They made a single mistake
100%.
towards it was great. Like it was a great watch. I recommend going back and watching the VOD on Smite Prime on YouTube. You can go check out the VODs over there.
He's clean with it. And I didn't have to do it because I was on that cast. Shout out Malum Chair 2 for the Butt Lovers bracket run. Crazy lore there, by the way.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It was genuinely. I know they lost 0-2, but that team did not like that set easily could have went to 3 games.
I thought it was
that team.
truly.
The team. That's so good. Like they're really, really good. I think a lot of people didn't give them the credit they deserved. I think we see a couple teams like that in Smite Prime sometimes, you know, but
because it's tough because we,
really
I feel like there's a lot of, to no fault of anybody's, I feel like it's hard, obviously, with like the 5-6 person crews that Smite Prime uses. Obviously, you're not going to get many games covered on broadcast, only the ones that can get picked. But, you know, there are a lot of streams of POVs of the other teams, but it is kind of hard to follow the bracket outside. So I'm glad that because of the FFs, as unfortunate as that was, we got to see some other teams. Like, you know, shout out Chingle looked fantastic. Makes Stinkus with the clip of the month so far. One of the clips of the year on the Mordred, by the way. Shout out Malum Chair 2 and Gormizer Chair 1. So funny that we were the pair for this week of all weeks. And then also Chew Poppies, huh?
Yep.
They look nasty with it. James, Alec, River, MTR, and D5 looked disgusting.
The Sparta doggies.
The Sparta dogs ran into the Bulba Storm food drive for Glow, but add in Benny Q instead in mid, and actually didn't look bad. For those who didn't watch, I definitely harped on this point a lot, but I actually compared it to the way, again, I say Shabalba Storm, the way that roster used to play as a younger team into SPL rosters, where, you know, they obviously are almost better, if not just 100% better at team fighting and early plays around the map, but they just could not beat the map play of Hostile Takeover, them being Chupapis in this instance, where the map just got out of control. You know, you have a 10 kill lead, but you're 3k gold behind. That was the learning hurdle that was there for Hostile Takeover when they were younger players. Again, exception being Benny Q on that roster. But the Chupapis looked great early. And you talked about how for Butt Lovers, there's signs of, like, it's more than signs of life. Like, there's signs that can be a good team, Hydra. There's signs of that for Chupapis, too, and for Chingle Blorgan. Newsy, I know you got to see a couple of these teams as well in week 1. Hopefully we get to see some more on Saturday, this being recorded on June 18th. Things are looking pretty good. It's up in Smite Prime land right now.
For sure.
I mean, I think one of the big, like, I guess you could call it complaints is like, oh, the same teams are like, you know, winning consistently.
Which drives me crazy.
It's always
because
fun to
simply
see.
Beat them.
Literally, you just do have to beat them. I think it was a conversation that Hydra and I had at one point where like the big part about what Clocked In is doing is that you just have to stop playing their game and play your own game because they're going to win at their game. You have to play your game. Well, we don't really have to worry about that anymore, do you? But the thing here too, I popped off for Chupapis versus Hostile Takeover. I had like the game over on the side. I'm grinding my ARPG, playing video games, blah blah blah. I look over on the side. James kills Carmack. I'm like, that's my boy, Vamo, and Pizza Duel. Come on, let's go, get James. Like. Incredibly hype. I can't wait for more of it. I want more Butt Lovers. Like, I want my time in the sun
to
the Butt Lovers finals. Like, let's get at it. Like, Smite players are showing up more and more and more. And as Smite 2 continues to kind of grow and develop and everything like that, more of the older Smite 1 players.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that player base is starting to come back a little bit. And some names where we're like, oh, yeah, that guy used to be insane. Oh, how does that translate to Smite 2? Turns out they still got the sauce, right? You know, maybe we're geriatric at this point by gaming standards, but, you know, Smite's a third-person MOBA. Your ability to click buttons is like a quarter of what makes you good at the game most of the time. So, well, I mean, I'm a tank player, so, you know, it's kind of different for me as opposed to, like, you know, the ADC. I think every other role is pretty... simple mechanically. My bad, junglers.
I would love to see a Hostile Takeover, or not Hostile Takeover. I'd love to see a Butt Lovers versus Chupapis game because that pace has got to be like blistering pace of tempo. Yeah, like that's got to be crazy.
It has to be heat. It has to be fire.
Has to be Fuego. Yep. Nah, but like there were so many good sets this last week. I think this was without a doubt, I think like my favorite week to watch Smite Prime, just because the matchups were so you didn't know who's going to win, and even if you thought you knew who was going to win, you see Donut, Doug, and Aurora on one side, and they lose, like they lost, like bad, like that was awesome. Like there was such a good week. I think just for the entertainment value.
And you know what's funny about you saying that too is I think that people underestimate how much impact. Like the bracket was busted wide open because of the FFs that came out. That does bleed into week 3. Like just because those teams are able to play, there's still the catalyst effect of now the rosters are not rosters. Now the bracket's shaken up, and seeding in particular is shaken up. So you're going to get matchups we usually don't see, which has been not part of the problem, but part of the reason why teams are able to stay so consistent in Smite Prime. With that seeding shaken up, we could have some wild matchups this coming Saturday.
Here's the thing.
I'm excited for it.
Butt Lovers is seeded 3rd right now.
Yeah.
And Chingle Blorgan is in 6th. Chew Poppies is 9th seed. Like, they could come back in week 3 and find a way to sneak into the week 4 finals.
And Hydrogen Bomb is like a decent bit of points behind Hostile Takeover, which in itself creates some weird effects because Chingle Blorgan is closer to Dirty Water by 5 points, and Hydrogen Bomb is to Hostile Takeover almost. Like it's that tight of a bracket, which is so insane.
Yeah.
Chupapi's gained so many points too. I mean, they ended up being 9th, which, all things considering, that really does give a lot of chance to Chupapis for another kind of far run, because they're not going to start off against too unfavorable of a matchup.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the week 2 recap for Smite Prime. Any final things on the Smite Prime week 2 going into week 3 stuff? Plus, shout out, of course, the Joust tournaments going on. I think EU Conquest is coming up soon on top of all the Joust stuff we have going up. Maybe one more week until that. That's all been really good. So thanks for tuning into those. On Saturdays, you've got the big June circuit going on. Any final thoughts from either of you guys? Hydra, we'll start with you since you're the special guest today.
I'm just so hyped. I really just can't wait to watch these games. I'll be cheering on Chingle Blorgan. Those are my boys. Like, let's go, man. And Butt Lovers, obviously. They're the homies. But Chingle Blorgan in my veins. Like, let's go.
Yeah, Butt Lovers could do with 3rd seed, like Musi said, they can do a lot this week. One sneaky victory over a team like Single Bind, and you're in a wild place for finals.
It would be awesome.
All right, Muse.
I'm holding out for Chew Poppies. Honestly,
I thought you might.
I'm Chew Poppy gamer over here.
Choo baby.
If Chew Poppy's got 5 fans left, I'm one of them. If Chew Poppy's got 1 fan left, it's me. If Chew Poppy's got no fans, it's because I died. Like it's like I'm rooting for the dogs over there. But I am really excited to be able to watch week 3. Even more excited to cast it. Like, I'll be there right with everybody and going, oh my God, the Sanguine Lash. Wow. All that good stuff.
If you're seeing this on week 3, that means he's doing it with me potentially on Saturday, because there's a good chance this is the duo you're seeing this Saturday in Smite Prime. So of course, thank you for tuning in. If this is on Saturday, if you're watching this before, be sure to tune in this Saturday to Smite Prime and see how these teams shake up. Again, thanks Hydra for joining us. Thank you Smite Prime viewer. Thank you Late at Smite viewer. All right, Jithens, we did it, John. Smite Prime. I hope you guys had a good break. Enjoy the games when they come back. See, and now we're clean. Now we take away the Smite Prime logo. We're back to Late at Smite. We can say things like poop again. Like we're safe. Audio listeners are like, what do you take away? Took away the Smite Prime logo, baby. We're back to Late at Smite only. But no, I think that was that was fun, guys. Thank you, Hydra, for popping on. Sorry it was kind of a last second rain check, but I guess it worked out with the
all good.
Smite game stream. I was going to ask.
Literally perfect timing.
I know you got a Smite game slot, so what else have you got going on? Feel free to mention anything you've got.
Let's see. What do I have? I mean, I'll be taking like a month and a half away.
No!
So So like, I'm not doing any comp right now. That's why I'm not playing in Prime or anything right now. I'm not playing in OSL this upcoming season. I'm not playing PSL. Like I'm just not going to be here. But I will be still uploading some content and stuff like that. So obviously, anything competitively that I'm still doing right now before I leave in a week and a half. You can catch over on my Twitch whenever I'm streaming my scrims or spectating scrims, casting, scouting games, for OSL and stuff like that. You can catch over at Hydra SMT, twitch.tv/Hydra SMT. I stream on Smite Game. Also be streaming on that next week. And then if you want to catch my YouTube stuff like that, you can find it under the same name I have on my Twitch. So nothing crazy. A couple projects. I have a really cool project on the works. I can't leak it though. But keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out. It'll be awesome.
I'm keeping them peeled. Music, you don't get to do that because wherever I am, you usually are too.
Oh!
I mean,
I'm my own man. I do stuff by myself sometimes. Shout out Ape Escape 4 in the ESL Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to playoffs on twitch.tv/.
Ape Escape 4, the Sewer Animosity OSL drafts coming up. Do all the things in the amateur scene. And, let me know if you like Late at Smite. Hope you enjoyed it, whether you listened at your car, at home, after your ranked game, whatever. If you're up late, you're up late at Smite. We'll see you next time on Late at Smite. Bye, everybody. Bye. I'm going to wave until I find my end scene. I found it. Bye.
Woo.